Clyde, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on here.
You know what, Clyde, I'm gonna start with a question that's a bit personal to me. I've talked to people in the GCC and the UAE. I talked to people in Canada. As someone who's lived in both now, you moved from Canada to the UAE. Can you talk to me a bit about that transition? Was it difficult? Is it exactly what you expected? Was it different? Did you have any expectations? How was that?
Yeah, definitely there was a little bit of adjustment for sure. Not just, weather-wise, there's definitely a huge difference when it comes to the weather. But I think it's the what really um shocked me is just the amount of opportunities that is out here in the Middle East, specifically in the United Arab Emirates. As someone who's worked in the industry, by the way, I am an AI engineer by profession. So, uh, while I was working in Canada, in Toronto specifically, I feel that once I moved to Dubai, there's just endless opportunities if you work hard enough. If you network enough, you meet various types of people here. Super amazingly talented, bright, like you'll meet all types of people here. And I feel like that's one of the things that I'm super thankful for experiencing because not a lot of people get that opportunity to go from one big city to another just like that. And yeah, it's been such an amazing experience so far. I've lived here for about a year and a half now. And yeah, it's just been positive experience. Yeah.
Did you have any expectations go before going there? Like, did you think, I don't know, it was gonna be as developed as it
Mhm.
is? Did you have any assumptions?
Um, well, based on the videos that are circulating on social media, they portray Dubai as such a futuristic city, with all of the speed cameras compared to how we have it in Canada. There's not a lot of speed cameras. We typically have, still police cars trying to use the manual speedometer to track people who are speeding.
Yeah.
Compared to here in Dubai, it's like it's just, you know, yes, there was a set of expectation in terms of the technology. However, I mean, I came here with an open mind, I came here with an open mind. I obviously did some research, specifically in my industry, like, the demand that they have for AI engineers, because the city itself is going towards that direction. And there's a huge demand for AI engineers, for developers here in Dubai. And um, in terms of technology, I would say it's where I expected it to be. I expected it to be advanced. I expected it to be to be kind of growing more into a smart city like. I wouldn't be surprised if Dubai has flying cars in the next 10 to 20 years, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I recently talked to someone building um, electric helicopters for
Yes,
the
yeah.
region. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I think they're actually going to be launching that in the next, I think, 10 20 years as well. It's like a heli taxi where you can go from like the tourist destinations because they're trying to decrease the traffic here in Dubai because traffic here is just atrocious.
Yeah.
And they're trying to have give people the experience that you're supposed to get when you come to Dubai. You're not supposed to worry about traffic. You're not supposed to worry about how crowded it gets on the metro. You're supposed to enjoy when you come here, unless you live here, right? When you come here as a tourist, you're supposed to enjoy it. You're not supposed to worry about all the other stuff. So that's one of the campaigns that I think they are working on. They're trying to have, I think, heli taxi from like Jumeirah to like other side of Dubai so that you can get from one place to another in just a matter of minutes. Um, and yeah, I'm just super excited to witness that, witness all of the advances that they're doing here in Dubai.
As someone coming from Toronto, I don't think you can really complain about the traffic, but but
That's fair. That's fair.
but I guess now you're in the two extremes. You know, you went to a very cold place to a relatively, well,
Yes.
a very hot
Yes.
place, adjustments
Yeah.
all over. But like you said, it's a very exciting time for the region. They're investing a lot in AI and new
Yes. Yeah.
technology, and they're willing to. You know,
Hmm.
that's the real difference between countries that change, is that the leadership, the government actually want to push this vision forward. And this is, I
Hmm.
think, why things move so quickly in that area. So you're an AI engineer. How does an
Yes.
AI engineer end up building a dating app?
Um, it goes way back to, I believe, year 2021. I was still in Toronto. I was doing my post grad. I was doing my master's. I was specializing in software engineering within the AI domain, and I was still single at that time. And I ironically, I was also a dating app user. And one night, I think it just came like the idea just came to me because, like, for me, when it comes to I think anything that I do, everything that I do, if I know that I can work smart to accomplish something, then I'd rather do it that way, you know, rather than like working hard and spending more time achieving what I'm trying to achieve. So with that mindset that I've always had, I thought, like why why can't we just streamline this whole process? Because with the current dating apps, you have to spend countless hours swiping through endless profiles, waiting for a match, messaging people, and and if it works out, then you go on a date with that person, right? It's just such a tedious process that I feel like can be simplified, and it had been simplified just without the technology that's available now. By that, based on my research at the time, blind dates have always existed, right? Whether in our inner circles, like when you have a best friend that knows someone that they think would be good for you, they would kind of like set you up on the blind date with that person, and most likely than not, you might actually like have a fun time with this person because the person that set you up actually knows both of you well enough to put you on that date. And there's also been like a lot of blind dating event where you just go and like you have no expectation, you just go out and meet people, and a lot of people actually have fun, not whether they get a date out of it or whether they get an actual match out of it or not. They have fun interacting with people because it's been built within us to actually communicate with one another, to actually socialize. And with all of those thoughts running on my mind at that time, I'm like, I have the technical capability to automate this whole process. So I've talked to a bunch of my friends, and I was like, you know what? How do you I first asked the question, how do you feel about the current dating apps? Like what do you think is the problem? And I think one of the most common things that they mentioned was like they're just tired of it. They're just tired of, swiping every single day, not getting enough matches, and even if they do, not getting quality matches where they could actually see a future with this person. Not actually going on dates. These are just few things that they mentioned, and then I followed up a question, how would you feel about all of these noises, like this process being automated for you, like streamlined for you? And they're like, yeah, no, I wouldn't mind that because now I would have more time to actually worry about the things that matter to me. I could actually have more time focusing on resting or learning how to cook, just waiting for a match. And if I do get a match, then I just go on a date. I don't have to worry about planning the date. And I'm like, perfect, I've spoken with, my inner circle, and then from there I expanded to people I would meet on campus. I was like, how do you feel about this concept? And then I just did a lot of market validation first. Because like when you're creating an app by yourself, it's not easy. It's not easy. And you have to make sure that when you're about to do something big that you're sure about it. So that's why I did the market validation, talked to a bunch of potential users out there. And then I also spoke with dating experts and professors within the relationship science space, like in psychology departments. And we talked about statistics. Like when I spoke with these experts, I spoke about the statistics. Like they would bring me papers about like, okay, this is how many percentage of people actually found matches on dating apps, and you'd be surprised how low it is because most people act like nowadays in our digital age, most people either meet their significant other through someone, through social media by actually just sliding into the DMs or just meeting them. Uh, I don't quote me on this because I don't remember the exact number, but it's in like the lower like 10 to 20% success rate on dating apps. So with all of this data in front of me, I started kind of asking the question, why are there so many dating apps and none of them's doing the job right? What is it exactly that's not being done right? And from there, before I even go into the algorithmic approach of, okay, this is how I want to do it, we because you can't create a solution if you can't find the root problem. So that's where I really like dug in and like, what is it? What is the root cause of it? And then there was that just one day while I was walking to campus and I was like, dating apps are supposed to make dating easy, fun, and for a number of years, it was doing its job. We didn't have to get out of bed. Like we could literally swipe through profiles in our pajamas, uh, s- message people, talk to multiple people at once, and a lot of people were actually going on dates. Uh, but then it was just, I think, in the past, I would say like less than 10 years where it really switched on us. It stopped doing its job where, people were complaining that we're not getting enough matches or we're not getting high quality matches. There's no point in using these apps because like what's the point of it? I'm just paying for nothing. And it's true. People are paying for nothing. And because dating apps thrive on failed relationships. They thrive on that because it's their livelihood, right? It's their bread and butter.
Huge
Without
conflict of
users,
interest. As long as people don't find the perfect match, they're gonna keep using
exactly,
the app.
ex- exactly, right? So that's their whole business model. As long as you're single, as long as you're, craving for the dopamine that you get from getting your matches, they'll have the app, and a lot of people are seeing this. A lot of, when I scroll through TikTok or Instagram, I see content creators talking about this. When is the next app coming who's going to save us from this misery? And, when I've identified that problem, I'm like, okay, we have to make sure that we focus on the users, we focus on the experience itself, that we actually bring the results. So we're trying to bring exactly the opposite of what the current dating apps are bringing, which is currently they're bringing low quality matches, expensive plans, and little to no results, right? And now we've taken Blind Date, we've created Blind Date where we bring you actual results, guaranteed results, with little to no effort and bringing in like the fun to it because you wouldn't know who you're going on a date with, right? It's kind of like the fun part of it. You kind of just go in with an open mind, believing that this person would be a good match based on the algorithmic results, and just actually connecting with the person and using your inner human indicator whether this person is for you or not. And once I've identified, you know, the approach that we want to take with blind date, that's when I started designing the architecture of not just the app but also the algorithm, because where I think it was in 2022 where AI just had a boom when ChatGPT came out. So at that point we had more uh manpower in a sense, right? Because now we can use specific tools to streamline some coding processes. So from there, I was able to create prototypes to then, with our technology, VisMatch, what it does is we extract your facial features from a selfie, and then we take out the features that other people may find attractive, and that's basically how we analyze visual attraction. So created a prototype for that, created a prototype for the simulation, for the MatchaCode, and then from there I started putting it together. I'm like, okay, this is how I put it together to basically streamline the whole process, right? And that's that's kind of like the engineering development side of things. And then where my expertise comes in is where I had to basically take the knowledge I have within the AI space, like the foundations, machine learning, neural networks, different types of learnings when it comes to training models. I had to take that and really focus on how the algorithm will be effective to then give you an because I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate because there's no algorithm that will be ever be 100% accurate, but at least I want to be able to utilize artificial intelligence as a tool to help us find the one, to automate the whole process for you so that you go to the date and you just have fun, and the whole process is so easy. And I feel like even a 50 or 60-year-old user will be able to use it. But yeah, that's basically how it started. And yeah.
So let me recap a bit what you said. So in the beginning, you were looking at all these dating apps, and pretty much no one likes them. I mean, that's a universal thing. No one likes dating apps,
Yes,
but
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
uses them because, like you rightly stated, there's this dopamine that you like, you enjoy it when you get a match. It's fun to see a lot of different people. But the ROI is so bad because even if you do match with someone, it's very rare that you actually end up being together. I mean, pretty much everyone I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
met someone through someone, or they met them in the
Exactly, right.
wild.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty much how it happens. So what you're saying is you want to keep it, you want to focus on the output, which is helping people find relationships, and not focus on
Yes.
the gaming and the let's enjoy the app.
Exactly.
Because if people want to enjoy
Exactly.
themselves on an app, they can just go play games, they can do something else, they can scroll on TikTok,
Exactly.
but they're on a dating
Exactly.
app to find a date, someone they like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you think like an engineer because yeah, I could see it from minute one. You said people spend a lot of
Appreciate that. Appreciate
time.
that.
So since they spend a lot of time, it can be simplified. Since it can be simplified, we can use AI. It can be better. It can be faster. It can get better results. And so I'm wondering how how do you measure success rate between people? Not success rate. How do you manage compatibility? Is it purely based on what people look like? You break down the different features of people's
Mhm.
faces and you try to understand what people might like based on a very accurate. I mean, the more data you have, the more accurate it will become,
Yeah.
especially over time. So, is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a really, really good question because there's a lot of technical stuff that goes behind blind date. So we've basically split it up into features to better explain it to users because a lot of users are gonna wonder how are you automating this whole thing? So we have VisMatch. VisMatch is essentially our in-house built algorithm that uh, helps analyze physical attraction because we don't want to just send people out on a date with someone that they won't find attractive, right? And I had to study the attraction like psychology behind this. I actually like read a lot of papers, met with psychology professors, like how do you find someone attractive? Like that was the question that I would always start with the professors I've spoken to. And one thing, one information that I got is that like that I found very interesting is the feature-based attraction. What is this? This is basically where, you know, as human, we always have been attracted to a specific feature from birth. And that's why you'll see some babies look at you, smile, or look at some people, because they've always found a specific trait that you have appealing to their eyes. Like how, let's say we have a friend and your friend finds someone attractive, but then you're like, yeah, I don't see it, man. Like I don't find that girl attractive at all. That's because they find a specific feature in that woman appealing to their eyes, but may not be appealing to your eyes. So once I heard that, I'm like, that makes sense because like that happens a lot, that happens a lot. And that's where I started, okay, like how do we extract these features that will help us analyze potential physical attraction between two users. So basically this is where I had learned this about in university about like facial embedding vectors. So it's basically where we take your selfie, we then extract vectors, like we basically convert your face into like numerical vectors, and then we extract the features. So for example, if you upload a selfie, we will calculate the distance between your eyes, the shape, the color. Same thing with your face shape, if you have a chiseled jawline, if you have a rounder face, all of those. So we take that out of the selfie and we find similarities with other users. So you'll be able to upload like kind of like your preference type, like what you find attractive onto the app. And then from there, we do the same process of extracting features from that picture, and we find similar features that other users may have. So let's say you upload a picture of, I don't know, a celebrity. I feel like a lot of people will do that. We're not going to find someone who's going to look exactly like the celebrity. We're going to take features that that celebrity has, and we'll find similar features that other users may have. So, if you upload a picture of someone that has a diamond face, the score of physical attraction will be higher for those users that has a diamond face, and then so on and so forth. So that's VisMatch, because we want to make sure that the physical attraction is still taken care of, that it's not just you're just blindly going on a date with someone. And then we also have MatchaCode. MatchaCode is basically where we've taken the ELO ranking algorithm and threw it out the window because it's just not working for everyone. And what we've done is essentially focus on what truly matters in a successful relationship. And this is where I've spoken to a lot of, uh, I wouldn't say elders, but like more experienced individuals who have been through relationships,
Yeah.
and asked them, how how were you guys able to last this long? Like, what is it? What is that one factor that helped you stay together this long? And one thing I took away from those conversations is that it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter how the other person looks. It's because we're all of our looks will fade as we get older, right? It's how you guys complement each other. So it's kind of like how, the yin yang symbol kind of like, complement each other. We've taken that approach when finding compatibility, you know. Um, so one part of our algorithm is like where we're finding, so we take your love languages and we find people that complement your love languages, and because a lot of people that are in relationships that have conflicting love languages don't feel loved in the relationship, not because the other person doesn't love them. It's only because they were not able to express it to the other person due to the conflict of love languages, right? So that's one aspect of it. We also have conflict resolution analysis, where we want to make sure that we match you with people that complements your conflict resolution. I'm sorry, resolution. Yeah, so these are just a few of the things that we take into consideration when finding you matches, things that truly matter and not just based off of height, age, I mean, obviously we have to take those, but we've upgraded it so much so that we make sure that we cover as much as we can because we do acknowledge that it's not going to be perfect from day one, right? We acknowledge that it's going to be lacking some stuff, but that's where we're going to improve it over time based on user feedback. And but we would just want to have a really strong starting point, and that's why we focus on the essentials in a successful relationship. So those are two features. We also have the simulation. This is where we basically take your data and we create a digital twin where we can then use that to simulate potential relationships with other users. And we simulate about 1,000 relationships, and we try to predict out of the 1,000 relationships, how many of those will you succeed as a couple, and we've kind of like taken inspiration from this one show called Black Mirror. It's on
As soon as you
Netflix.
said the digital twin thing, I'm like, I know
Yeah.
exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
I get the same thing. Every
yeah.
time I've talked to everyone, like they're like, "Oh, it's like that one show, right?" I was like, "What show is that?" And then yeah, Black Mirror right away. Yeah, so because I'm a huge Black Mirror fan. It's such a interesting show where they tackle, futuristic technologies, and I've taken some inspiration from the idea of being able to simulate potential relationship to help you analyze long-term compatibility. And this is where I can't disclose exactly how we create the algorithm
Yeah.
because it's in-house. But yeah, that's basically how we try to predict your long-term compatibility with another user. Um, so with all of these automation, like what you said earlier, it's data-driven, right? It's data-driven, and this is where the longer you are on the app, obviously Aya, which is our AI assistant, will get to know you a little bit better each day, and which means that the longer you're on the app, then the more accurate your data will get. Most likely, you'll have a better match. And yeah, that's. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You literally just get a match. You decide if you want to go on a date. Voila. And even the date is planned for you, by the way. We have an additional feature called Date Planner, which essentially takes your first date preference. If you're more of a cafe person, or if you're more of a restaurant or activity type of first date person, and it tries to plan the date for you so you don't have to worry about that. So, like I said, that's the main goal. Just literally just getting you out there, meeting the person is the ultimate goal of blind date. Just getting you out there, helping you find happiness, and yeah, because I mean, everyone deserves to be loved and to be happy, right? And that's essentially what we're trying to achieve.
You know what, you know what, Clyde, this scientific approach to finding love, it's sounds really dystopian, but I feel like everything else, the more data you have, the more information you have, the better you know someone, the easier it is to get
Exactly.
an
Exactly.
accurate result. So it
Yeah.
makes sense to me. I'll end with this. I've seen all kinds of dating apps. You know, I
Yeah.
I stopped using them years ago, but I sometimes get these dating
I
apps
can't
for
blame you.
people that cook, people that love this, people who love this, and you have all these
Yeah.
niches, but it's essentially the same thing. It's like you're filtering people based on, I don't know, if you like a
Hmm.
certain race, religion, country, if you like a certain sport, and grouping them
Yeah.
in its own shell. But you're doing something
Hmm.
different because you're trying to
Yes, completely
break
different.
down the individual and saying, this is exactly what you most probably will like,
Hmm.
based on all the
Yes.
information that I
Yeah.
have. So,
Yeah.
Clyde,
Just to add on to that,
yeah,
sorry.
I was just
Just
gonna
on to,
say,
yeah,
like,
just
let's wrap it up in a minute. We could talk about this a bit more, but I want to respect your time. So, tell me.
okay. Oh yeah, yeah, just um sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's yeah, the reason it's streamlining the whole process is what we're trying to provide users so that they can focus on the important stuff, important things, like like what I mentioned earlier. At the same time, it also helps them be more productive because all the current dating apps have negatively impacted everyone's kind of emotional well-being. And in result to that, they've been kind of just unhappy, with themselves, and which also negatively impacts productivity. So that's one of the others, like the other side of the, I guess you'd say, like scientific approach to this, where we want to make sure that everyone's productivity also increases. And how do we do that? By making sure that person itself is happy. And yeah, hopefully we're able to achieve that with blind date.
Love it. Digitization is
Yeah,
here whether we like it or not. It's just that
exactly.
it
The
didn't
future
work
of
in the
dating
past.
is here.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for doing this, Clyde. Really appreciate it.
appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's fun.